Alright, so we updated Q to Hashcat and we got it working. So this will be the final video, well, of this round of testing. So Q to Hashcat is basically a password recovery program, which it's very powerful. It works on many different algorithms. And there's many different parameters you can use, from brute force to dictionary attacks to custom dictionaries. Many parameters used. It's very good. I mean, the guy who develops it's gotta say, and he continually updates it. He's one hell of a developer. In any event, so this is going to basically test our GPU. Load. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. Alright, so here's a command to run it, if you can see it. I'll zoom in, doesn't really matter. So we're using WPA passwords here. Okay, so the network ID here is Smil-Adon. There's a special hashcat format that it's in, which is .hccap. Okay, the parameters, the m is the type of algorithm that we're specifying. -a is that it's brute force, and what you see over here is basically what's called a mask. Okay, I know the password to this network already. It's Broadway. Very simple password, 8 characters. What the mask does, it gives a hint to the password cracker that it starts with BR. So basically what it's going to do is go through every other possibility with BR in the beginning with an 8-character password, and basically go through all of the lowercase. Now, again, if you do any simple mathematics in terms of combinatorics, you'll know that there's a big space. Basically, if it's 8 characters and we're just doing lowercase, it's 25 to the 8th power. You can do the math on that. Even at 75,000 or this, it calculates. It was just running, so you can see how fast it was running. It's running at there it is, 153.2 keys a second. Well, that's 153,000 keys per second. So it's doing 153,000 keys per second. Again, you may think that's slow, and if you do look at other algorithms, you'll see it'll go millions. It'll run through 1 million passwords a second. But the way the PB, the password-based key derivation function 2 works is that it's specially designed to slow down brute force and dictionary attacks. It basically has a section in there where it goes through several thousand iterations of basically just hashing, just to slow down the algorithm. So that's why you don't get a lot of passwords per second. But even with GPU acceleration, 150,000 passwords a second is pretty fast for this algorithm. If you look at the CPU alone, it was only running 6,000 keys a second. So it's one of the reasons why WPA is hard to attack on a brute force level. Anyway, that's a whole nother video. So we're just gonna run it. We're not actually gonna wait for the password to break. I was trying to put a mask in there to sort of speed up the password breaking process, but even with 2 revealed, it would take probably another day or 2 to, probably about, I don't know, maybe 12 hours to actually break the password. With 3 revealed, it only takes a couple minutes. So yeah, it just shows you the difference in exponential complexity that happens, between difference one character can make. So I'm just gonna have it run, and we'll look at the status, and it also gives us temps when you do the status check. So that was 39 degrees, GPU 1, it's only 1 GPU. Alright, so let's take a look. Actually, you know what? I'll leave it zoomed in, and we'll take a look at our temperatures. Alright, so we're gonna run it, and so it's running. That's the way it works. If you want the status, you push S, it gives you the status. So right now, if you look at the status, we are 0.21% finished. If you do the status again, we're at 0.8. And we do the status again. We're at 1% finished. So let's see how long it takes to get to 2%, and I'll give you an idea of how long it's going to take to break this. We're running currently at 154,000 passwords per second. The GPU heat is now 41 degrees Celsius, and that's really what we're checking, how hot the GPU gets. All right, let's take the status again. We're now at 2%, so you figure it's probably about 20 seconds per percentage. Actually, that's not bad. So if you do the multiplication, 20 seconds times 100, so 2,000 seconds divided by 60. I don't know, probably take like 20 minutes to actually break the password. Okay, as you can see, the GPU temperature is 42. Let's do another status check. We are now at 4% approximately. We're at 42 degrees. So yeah, so the GPU temperature up there pretty much mirrors the GPU temperature that I'm sure it's using the same sensor information. All right. Yeah, and it's also the great thing about CUDA Hashcat. It gives you a lot of options. You can pause it, you can quit, and actually pick up where it left off. So if you don't want to stress your GPU for too long, or if you have someplace to go, or whatever. But so far, the GPU under pretty stressful circumstances is running at 42 degrees Celsius. Now what we could do, we could also run, if you want to stress the CPUs. Right now, if you notice, the CPUs are barely being stressed, except for Core 6 for some reason. We could run another password finder in the back that only uses CPU acceleration. Actually, yeah, let's do that. All right, it's not too hard. So I'm gonna put this back in the holder, and I'll type the commands just to see, because it doesn't look like we're going above 42 degrees just with this stressing the GPU. And again, that's just a GPU diode. It's not the actual VRAM, which I'd rather see. Well, it is what it is. I'll figure out how to do that on Linux some other time. It's not hard. I haven't done it. All right, let's go. Become root. Let's go to. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna do. DICTIONALLST. Okay. There it is. Okay, so now that's running, and if you'll notice that now our CPU temps just went off the hook. And it's immediately when you do that, again, the fan slowed down, so I gotta check that out. It should do the exact opposite. Alright, so now if you notice, the GPU is going up. The temperature is going up, and the CPU temperature is going up. Obviously, the CPU being under load is raising the temperature of the chip, which is thus raising the water level temperature. So under both of these under load right now. Look at that, full stress on the CPU. Well, can't say full stress, but very stressed. And over here, let's just check our status again. Hold on. Check our status. Okay, so our stress test, we are at 13% in terms of, how far we are into the going through all the combinations of words starting with BR. So basically, if you think 6, how many combinations? You want to do the math. It's 26, because it's 26 characters, raised to the 6th power, because there's 6 characters missing. So, let's see. Go to Google, see what that is. How many combinations we're looking at. You could do some division here. And that's what Aircrack is doing there. So let's do 26 raised to the 6th power is, let's see, looks like 308,915,776. So it's going through 308 million combinations. Yeah, that's a lot of combinations at 154,000 passwords per second. So again, you can do some math. You want to take that, divide it by 154,000. That'll tell you how many seconds it would take, and then divide that by whatever. So what the hell? Let's do it. Let's go here. We got nothing else to do. We're waiting, right? As far as temperature is concerned, we're at 50 degrees core and 47 for the GPU. Let's do that. 26 raised to the 6th divided by 154,123. Oh, sorry. 154,123. Okay, so basically 2005 seconds. Let's divide that. Oh, we just bring up a calculator. I have a calculator. Actually, no, let's use this. Put this in parentheses. And then divide that answer by 60. So 33 minutes. That's actually reasonable. So it would take 33 minutes to crack strictly a lowercase 6-letter password, even though WPA doesn't accept anything less than 8. And again, you want to, for example, for shits and giggles, let's see how long it would take to do 7. We have the formula up here. We'll just change it instead of 26 to the 6th, 26 to the 7th. So 26 to the 7th would take 869 minutes. Okay. So how many minutes? Again, we just divide that by 60. And this is only lowercase letters, folks. That would be, all right, basically 14 hours, which ain't too bad for 7. So let's see, the minimal password is 8. So, and just lowercase of WPA. So if you have WPA protection, if you want to do a brute force attack, let's go to 8 characters. That would take 376 hours. So already we're talking like close to a week or something. I don't know. Again, but let's divide that by 24. So that would take basically 2 weeks. It would take 2 weeks to crack an 8-character lowercase only password with just one GPU. Now, that's actually useful. I mean, a lot of people only use lowercase, and this is the best way to go about password hacking. Again, just rambling since we're just checking. We'll end this soon. All right, so if we look, our temps are at 53, and the GPU's at 50. So that's pretty high. I mean, again, it's under load. Not high. I mean, it's acceptable, but I mean, it's higher than I would like. I like a little bit lower. Only because I'm not overclocked. If I was overclocked, I'd be like, who cares? But again, I gotta check how these fans. Well, the fans seem to be running. Ooh, I can feel the heat. Now you can feel the heat. I mean, I'm just touching the case. I can feel the heat. It's not heat. It's not hot, but I mean, I can feel hot air being blown out. All right. Oh, what was I saying? So, yeah, I don't think. Well, the core went up to about 54. I don't think we're getting above these temperatures. I don't know, 51. So I'm thinking around probably top out on 52 degrees for the GPU and around 54 degrees for the CPU. Wonder if that's expanding. All right. But 15 days, I know, seems like a lot. It's feasible. We go out one more, you're probably talking a year or so. And that's, again, lowercase letter. If we add in, Jesus Christ, if you added in uppercase and numbers. I mean, realistically, that's what people's passwords would be. Uppercase, not so much. I mean, depending on how sophisticated they are, but a lot of people take the shortest because again, ease of memory, shortest and quickest way, so their phone numbers fit in easily into characters. So you check. That's what I was saying. Heuristics about cracking people's password. Just use what's common sense, right? Go through a dictionary first, then go through phone numbers. Phone numbers are a big one, especially with WEP, because it's exactly 10 characters. So people just invariably just how many passwords would be like 718, 347, whatever. Maybe the same thing with WPA, but definitely check those first before you start trying brute force. Once you go into the brute force method, you want that to be your last refuge. You know what I mean? If you're doing brute force in the beginning, you're done. You're probably not going to find it. You're wasting. Remember, you're burning your CPU. It's like Bitcoin mining, without a possibility of reward. I mean, with an indefinite. I mean, not indefinite, undetermined possibility of reward. You don't know if you're going to find that password, even if you run. The good thing about, like I said, QDHash, you can stop. So if you want to run for a week, start next week, or whatever, or just do it for several hours. You can do that. Wow, we're up to 55 degrees. It is getting hot. It is getting hotter than I thought. It hasn't stabilized. So 55 degrees for the CPU and 52 degrees for the GPU. And I can hear the fans running, probably at the highest speed possible. So yeah, it is hot. Okay. Just for the hell of it, what status are we at here? We are. I'm gonna bring my cursor back here. Status. We're 40% finished. Okay. Again, with the GPU. I don't know if it's worth going anymore. This video's been running 17 minutes. It tells you the time remaining also. That's why QDHash gets a very, very, very good program. It tells you a lot of information. So running. Oh well. It didn't go through all the combinations because it didn't need to. So we're done. It stopped. The program found the password. If you see it, right there, Smilodon. The password is Broadway, which it found, which I told you already. Would that have been the top temperatures that we found? Because we ended up at 52 degrees Celsius. The GPU, you can see it's come down now, 40. The CPU is still up there because it's still working over there. So I don't know. 52 degrees. Nothing crazy. Like I said, I've seen it get to 70 playing games, so it's better than before. I'd like to see the VRAM. VRAM's always hotter. All right, so I'm gonna stop this, and then we'll lower our temperatures here. Dang. All right, so we'll reboot. All right, so I mean, again, it's not finished, but I'm very satisfied with how everything came out and the performance so far. We're just talking about a single 360 rad, which is actually a smaller single 360 rad. No, the fans are faster now. I'm gonna definitely look into fixing up those fan curves or figuring out what's going on. But so far everything is good. It's running much better. It looks a lot better. I love the case. So I mean, I am satisfied with how this build came out. Since I'm blabbing on just this Windows, which is Windows 10, it's probably the dirtiest copy of Windows. Not dirty, I mean in terms of illegality, even though that'll go unsaid. But I mean dirty in terms of just, I don't know. I'm not gonna say there's no viruses or anything. not that my virus checker shows me, but meaning that I have not changed this version of Windows since my old build. Meaning that I'm not talking about the case that I just transferred to, but from my last motherboard. And I'm gonna show you. I mean, like, you must be asking, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Yeah. What happened was, what happened? I used to have before I upgraded to the X99. I had an old for the win EVGA board. I think it was a 780 SLI for the win board, which was good at the time. And I was running a Q, again, not an i7, not an i5, none of the newer chips. I was running a Q9650, which at the time was the best I could. We're talking probably 2008. Yeah, I haven't upgraded since last year. That's why I went pretty as high end as I thought was reasonable last year. But I didn't change. I had Windows 7 on here, and again, probably running for about 4 years. And even when I upgraded the motherboard, I was like, oh, I don't want to change all my programs. Like everything, I had everything the way I liked. I had my Dropbox, I had all my, you have Windows set up like, and it wasn't performing badly. You know what I mean? It was just time to upgrade. I was running a 295 GTX, which was running hot as hell. And I figured, all right, let me upgrade. But I said, is there a way maybe, without reinstalling Windows that I can do it? Because everybody's like, oh, you gotta get rid of those drivers. It's not worth it. Just do a reinstallation of Windows. So I said, let me look around. So I found a really good program that runs prior to booting. It basically runs off a CD or a pen drive, and it'll boot. You just tell it to basically clear all the drivers from Windows prior to booting into the new motherboard, and it does that. It basically, I don't know how well it does it, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't remember the program offhand, but I guess I could look around for it. It's on my DVDs. Actually, let me do it. What the hell? It's long enough. It's longer. So if you want to change motherboard, you can, and keep your old system. I don't recommend it. I'm just saying I've done it. And that's not the only reason why this is a dirty copy of Windows. Partition Wizard, Acronis, and all this crap on DVDs. Paragon Adaptive Restore, that is it, I believe. So Paragon Adaptive Restore 2010, it works. I believe that's it. I don't see any other programs that I recall. That's the program. It will basically, like I said, it'll adapt to your new. It won't load new drivers. You can if you want to, but it'll clean out the old ones. And video, audio, because I had to go through the whole driver process again when I put in a new motherboard, and no conflicts, no blue screens, no black screens. It worked. It worked. I was surprised it worked, but it did work. And that's not the only reason it's dirty. It's not the only reason it's dirty. So I had Windows 7 Enterprise because I had an Enterprise key. And it's the same thing as Windows Ultimate. So when Windows 10 came out, I was like, all right, let me try it out. I tried it on my laptop first. I liked it, so I said, all right, it's time to upgrade my main PC to Windows 10. So I upgraded to Windows 10. I wanted to, but you can't upgrade the Enterprise version. It's not a free upgrade from the. Well, maybe now it is, but the time I did it was not a free upgrade from the Enterprise version to. Oh, actually, sorry. I know I'm rambling. Prior to that, I actually had Windows 7 Ultimate. Again, same operating system on the old EVGA motherboard. Then somebody gave me. I got myself hold of an Enterprise key, so I wanted that because that's a legitimate key. You do updates, you don't have to worry about anything running in the background, any servers to activate it. So I was looking for a way to do that again without reinstalling, because again I like the way the setup was. And you go into the registry, you change everything to Windows 7 Enterprise in terms of just the naming and some of the registry keys, and then you run the upgrade, and it'll upgrade it from Ultimate, not upgrade, or change it from Ultimate to Enterprise. But it's almost like a reinstallation of, I don't know, it's installing over old files and keeping your files. It worked. Let's put it that way. I basically had a Windows 7 Enterprise to go to. So then from there, as I was saying, I wanted to go to Windows 10. It was a free upgrade. So I had to go back to Windows 7 Ultimate. Do that. So I downgraded or regraded, whatever you want to regraded. That's not even a word, but regressed or whatever you want to call it, back to Windows 7 Ultimate. Then activated it, and then went to Windows 10. And one more time, I actually had to do basically another not dirty installation because that new update, the fall update, I forget it was 10.586 or I forget what it was, or the 20, I forget what it was. But the new update that came out, it wouldn't update, and I wanted it because I have so many things in my start menu. The start menu only holds, I believe, like 256 items, and the new update fixed that. So that was one of the things I did want from the new update, but it wasn't working. I finally found out because of my dual boot system, it wasn't, it wouldn't install the update right. So I had to go and do manually update it, you know. So that's another sort of reinstallation process. Basically, I'm saying there's been so many back and forth with Windows without actually doing a fresh installation. And reason I'm saying that, and the only reason I'm saying that is because this thing runs great. It still runs good, you know. And I know the rule is to reinstall Windows every now and then, but I can't complain. Look, everything is instant. It pops up, just bang, pops up quickly. Chrome pops up quickly. VMware, well, it's gonna pop on the other side, but it's there. All my programs, just where I want them. 80 to 64, whatever pops up. Look at this. Edge just pops up instantly. It is now, if anything, it could run better, right? You know, I have a powerful processor in here, and I have a powerful GPU, relatively powerful. I know some of you guys are running, well, whatever, dual Titans and 5960X, or maybe if you're crazy running Xeons. But I gotta say, for a dirty operating system, it's running pretty damn good. No issues. All right, so let's end the video there. Let's see what temps I'm at. Just for hell of it. These fans are going on and off. I'm not really sure why. Not on and off, but up and down. What are my temps looking like? We're at 40, 35, 41 for the CPU, or 39. And the GPU died to 33, GPU VRAM to 37. Not horrible. Considering we were just running some stress tests. I gotta figure out what we're going to do with the fans, and then I have to essentially take a look at adding another rad. But that's for another day. I am satisfied, actually quite happy with how everything turned out. It's one of those things. Even a little disappointed that everything's over now. Right? All right. If any of you listen to this ramble for this long, you guys are troopers. You know. You deserve, if you want to thumb down this video, all right, go right ahead. It deserves it for me, unedited and just rambling talk. I don't know if you got anything out of it that you can actually put a very nice system into this case. Oh wow, what were you looking at before? Just random screens. All right, well, at least I gotta show you the case. Well, there's the case one last time. I'm sure I'll take some more pictures of it. You know, it's one of those things. That's the upper part, and there's the front. All right, there's our Windows temps, which we're looking at right now. What are we looking at? Zoom in, zoom in. Motherboard's at 31, CPU's at 38, so big delta there. I mean, the individual cores are around 30. And the GPU is running, gotta say, not bad, 31, VRAM 35. So, pretty decent, pretty decent. I mean, compared to my previous temps, for sure, some of you guys, if you're running any custom loops with big rads, you're probably used to seeing, low 30s, 20s, and stuff. Okay, let me end it. I'm not end things. I'm gonna end here. Thanks for watching. Peace.